Yes, sir. Chike with the short hair today. Anyway, guys, I want to talk to you about relapse. This video, if you just relapsed, whatever it is, bro, whatever it is, whether it be drugs, alcohol, porn, whatever, bro, whatever it is, man, you go ahead, you ask yourself, man, what did I just relapse on? All right, if I title this video right and I do my job correctly, so the algorithm does its job, this video should pop up in your feed. Hopefully YouTube. If you just relapsed, that's my intention. All right, I want you to watch this video if you just relapsed. Growth is a series of relapses. Growth is a series of relapses over time in a less frequent manner. That's what growth is. I want you to think of growth like that. And the reason why I say that is because when you look into the nature of the definition of the word relapse, what does it imply? It implies that you went back to a bad habit. You went back to a bad habit that you tried to stop. So what that basically lets us know is you were stopping. You had stopped at one point. You stopped at one point and you kept that up until a certain point in time, and you did whatever it is that you told yourself you wouldn't do once again. That is growth. That is growth. And the reason I'm giving this video and I'm delivering this message to you in this manner is because the first step to like growing as a person is not tying failure with shame. Like if you tie failure with shame, essentially what you do is you develop yourself in a shame-based manner. You know, you don't really develop true self-confidence. You know, instead of your activities that you apply to yourself in pursuit of the aim of growth, instead of those being predicated on the emotion of hope, which is tied to discipline and diligence and steadfastness, instead what you're doing is that you're having it predicated on shame, which leads to hopelessness, which is the opposite of discipline. So what you're going to do is you're going to find yourself becoming more and more prone to relapse, because when you reach like a point of your lows, because life is just highs and lows. When you reach a point in your lows, when you get chronically depressed, or you just stop going for a while, the inner dialogue that you tell yourself is, dang bro, I ain't this, I ain't that, like I'm terrible, I'm this, I'm that. And instead of that, you need to disassociate with that behavior and just be like, I'm doing terrible right now. You aren't terrible, you're doing terrible right now. Okay? And I think shame is a healthy emotion. Shame is a healthy emotion when utilized correctly. Right? Everything utilized incorrectly, every emotion utilized incorrectly is dangerous. Right? You can either use a knife to cut up vegetables, or you can use a knife to cut up a person. Right? Either you can use a gun to hunt some deer, or you can use a gun to shoot somebody. It just depends on how you wield the tool. It's just your choice. But if you just relapse, understand that everything that you do in pursuit of making the choice to stop is towards your growth. Just focus on doing that thing less and less over time, if that makes sense. And listen, I don't want it to be like, oh, Chike knows all, Chike is perfect, Chike is it. Like, girl, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just know that I made considerable progress, and it took me years to get to the point where I'm at now, where I can say my mental health is actually pretty good in comparison to what it was before. And so my physique has gotten a lot better over time. But if there's one thing that I learned, is that relapse is kind of part of the journey. That doesn't mean like have that mindset of, oh, I'm just gonna go do it again, and then you grab the tub of Vaseline. That's not what that means. That basically means that remove the shame-based emotions on your journey to becoming better. Yes, you do have things to be shameful about. I'm not saying you don't, but it's like, if you don't have hope for what it is that you're trying to achieve, how are you going to achieve it? How are you going to be disciplined? A truly disciplined person is filled with hope, because they know in the back of their mind, damn, I'm going to get this bag. I'm going to get this goal. I'm going to achieve my dream, my success, if I do this for sure. And not only if I do this for sure, but if I don't do X and Y for sure. But what does the shame-based person think? The shame-based person thinks I'm subhuman, I'm less than human if I'm not going to the gym 5 days a week, if I'm not going on a 30-day no-fab streak, if I'm not, whatever it is, goal that you have, if I don't cold turkey quit nicotine, quit smoking weed for a year straight right now, they say that they're less than human. And if you're less than human, then you can't achieve what other people are achieving. You're running that mental dialogue of, I can't do what they're doing, so why should I try it? You're just gonna relapse again. Relapse is part of the journey. Relapse is part of it, but it's about how do you get back up from that, and how frequent are you going back to it after the fact. So if you guys want to know some steps that I take to overcome relapsing, actually what I do is I make a consistency log. So I'm about to go ahead and get up and show y'all what that looks like right here. So this is new. I actually did just make this today, but this is what it looks like. All right. I got all my goals right here. And basically what I did, I put like the dates, and I just have check boxes of, did I do X, Y, and Z, right? I'm not going to explain which all of them are, but I have stuff like meditate, gratitude, exercise, posting on TikTok. I do have a TikTok account. And, just other things like not indulging in certain vices. And I have another one for YouTube and other things like that. But that is like an actionable step that you can take to, avoid relapse, is make a chart it down, write it down, make sure that you have it in front of you, and just take it day by day at a time. Eventually the golden point of getting rid of any addiction is getting to the point where you forget you have the addiction in the first place. And, I'd say with that, you have to find something that's so valuable and so passionate for you that you're constantly in the flow state while you're doing it. Like for me, YouTube puts me in the flow state. Making gym TikToks and gym content puts me in the flow state, so I don't do bad habits where I don't get all up in my head and then start cheating myself as a person, as an individual. So that's something that you yourself can do. But guys, anyway, I won't drag this video on too long, man. I wanted to share this with you so that you don't sit up here and be shame-based after relapsing. Once you do it, bro, get up, go back on the journey, because the whole, the self-persecution pride that you have to sit up here and tell yourself, I'm a horrible human being because I relapsed, is actually a misunderstanding of growth in and of itself. You don't understand that this road has failures. And I was talking to my buddy about this earlier. He said, if you trip on a rock, you trip on something as a person, you get up and you just keep walking. But to sit up here and dwell on it being shame-based, that's equivalent within this analogy, is equivalent to that very same person tripping over like a branch or a rock and then just laying there and looking back at it for the rest of his journey, just like, why did I trip on that? Trying to analyze it. Don't try and logically analyze relapse. It's completely emotionally based. If you see my last video, discipline is an emotion. Discipline is not a logical thing. It's just emotion. Emotion that's predicated and has its foundation on hope. And shame is the antithesis of hope. So if you don't have hope for what it is that you're trying to do, then you're not going to be disciplined. And you can't build that hope if you're still a shameful person. All right, that's my point. So anyway, guys, relapse is part of the journey, but F all that, bro. Be strong. Stop being negative all the dang on time, and get after your goals. Stay swole. Get saucy, get buff, get shredded, get yoked. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.